Oh, help.
Watch out for an oxidizer.
I am just running in circles at the moment trying to survive. Jesus. How many are there? You
Just
said
two.
4. There looks more. There's
I've
another
killed
one.
3.
What? She's dead.
There's one more. There's one more.
There's one more. Oh. I've been destroying it this whole time.
Oh my god, dude.
Really pulled it. Oh.
We got some rogue. Oh, the guys that we were with near a rogue.
Fuck, I went the wrong way, Juggle. I see you, but I don't see you. Oh, it's the wrong gun.
Incoming hostiles detected.
I don't know if I did it, but sure, whatever.
Yeah, we still keep an eye out.
Alright.
Contaminated gear detected.
Oh, that's a big guy! Oh, lag spec. Oh, that was horrible.
An agent needed assistance.
Well, I dropped my hive like 30 seconds ago. I don't know where it went though.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
I'm getting shot. Where am I being shot from?
Rogue striker drone detected. Now detecting contaminated gear.
He's dead already.
Oh, good. What? What are you talking about?
Oh no, that was the boss.
I've
That
been
was the boss.
pulsed. No, I've been pulsed. I've been pulsed.
Yeah, I've been pulsed.
Contaminated gear detected.
I'm shooting you guys. That's not gonna help.
That was definitely not
Well,
the boss.
no. I thought it meant can the NPCs pulse?
Not the boss. Boss put on the striker drone.
Landmark cleared.
What's up, guys? Strange1 here, and welcome back to another Division 2 video. This one is going to be kind of a variant of a build you've seen around a lot. It's a variant of the Lady Death Shredder build. I am going to make a build on my specific one I made for that. But this one is built more around the Chameleon. It is an exotic AR that came out in episode 3, back before Warlords of New York came out. I'm assuming a lot of you know about it, but this build is very unknown. Basically puts the Chameleon in its own category as a DPS weapon, actually, which not a lot of people see it as, not a lot of people use it as. And this build, like I said, is a variant. It's a combination of 2 builds put together. One was a specific Chameleon DPS build that I kind of put a little twist on, because the build that it was around focused more on close range, or my ranged fights. And in the beginning of the video, you'll see what I mean by why I kind of made it more towards the Lady Death variant, but added a little stuff from the Chameleon build. So we're gonna get right into the build right now. Obviously, it's got the Chameleon as our first weapon. I'll go over the exotic perks, and you can see my roll right here: 13% AR damage, 21% damage to health, and 9.5% critical hit chance. I would like to get 15% AR damage, but this is the closest I've gotten to that. I will keep going for a perfect rolled Chameleon. Its talent, Adaptive Instincts, hitting 30 headshots grants plus 20% critical hit chance and plus 50% critical hit damage for 45 seconds. That's what actually synergizes with this. I'll let you know with the other exotic. You've already seen it. It's Coyote's Mask. It synergizes with it very well. give me almost 200% critical hit damage. Hitting 75 body shots grants plus 90% weapon damage for 45 seconds. That's what also synergizes with this build, so when those two top perks are active and Coyote's Mask is active, it's hidden for, in my test, the max I hit was about 700k per shot, which means basically in 2 bullets I'm doing almost 1 million damage. In a full clip I'm doing close to 20 million. Meaning you're going to be burning through bosses like there's no tomorrow. You're going to be burning through elites like there's no tomorrow. Heavy's not going to stand a chance. This build is actually really good for the raid. I actually ran a raid last night, completed it for the first time, and this build actually really helps in Boomer and also Razorback if you run an LMG with it instead of a rifle, which I'm running my M1A with Boomerang on it. You can run an MG5 with Preservation on it, that works just as well. Finally, the last buff or part of the talent is hitting 30 leg shots, grants plus 150% reload speed for 4 or 5 seconds. Not really the best one since you're going to aim for the legs, but 150% really does come in handy sometimes, especially in that especially in the Boomer section of the raid. So, you know, maybe aim for the leg a little bit, and then once you get that plus 150% reload speed, you just go for the head, and you'll be chucking down bullets and doing a lot of DPS on Boomer, for sure. Pistol, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm running that X45 Tactical. I've been running this since I got it in Warney. Got it with Lucky Shot, so doesn't really matter. It's a pistol. Not a lot of people use pistols unless you're running a pistol build. Obviously, I'm running Coyote's Mask with Pack Instincts. You and all allies gain a bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. This was actually in my raid build. It gives you plus 15% weapon damage, 4.4% critical hit chance, 11.6% critical hit damage, and a mod of 4.7 critical hit chance. I eventually will max that mod out with 6% once I get one to drop. Its perks, if you don't know what it is and you haven't seen my last video, you and all allies gain a bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. 0 to 15 meters gives you a plus 25% critical hit damage. 15 to 25 meters gives you a plus 10% critical hit damage and plus 10% critical hit chance. And 25 plus meters give you plus 25% critical hit chance. You can get multiple of the talents to go at once, meaning you can get all those bonuses, which is, perfect timing for him to start breaking. Awesome. When all these perks synergize together, you're doing about 200% critical hit damage, which is insane considering that my DPS build specifically is doing base, even with Coyotes, about 150. And I'll show you the stats later by why it's kind of insane considering I actually have low critical hit damage and decently, well, it's actually pretty high critical hit chance. So that's the mask. Now we're actually going into the rest of the build. The chest and the backpack are the part from the Lady Death. I'm going to go into that right now. Normally, actually, you would run Sokolov for the chest for Lady Death, but since this is a chameleon variant and is not using an SMG, I decided to go with Grupo Sombro with Intimidate, obviously, which will synergize with the Matador backpack that I'm wearing. I'll get into that one second. The Grupo Sombro Grand Set gives you plus 15% critical hit damage, which is very needed in this build, as, like I said, I'm running low when I don't have the perks procced. I've had mine roll with 11.5% weapon damage, 4% critical hit chance, 9.6% critical hit damage. I'm always looking to upgrade this specific piece. All my other pieces are honestly good where they are, so I'll kind of explain that as I go along. This is the one piece I'd look to upgrade. I do have a utility slot, which I'm actually using for skill haste, so that I can get my healing drawn back a lot quicker, because I can see in the bottom left hand side of the build, I only got 700k armor, so I do get melted pretty fast. But the shield does help when I'm using that as well, so shouldn't have any problem. Let's go through the Matador backpack. This is a new named item that came along with Season 2 when the Walker Harris brand set was introduced to us. Using it obviously for the 5% weapon damage, that increases that a bit. I've got 10.4%. I would like to increase that weapon damage significantly. I've got 4.4% critical hit chance, and I decided to recal 12% critical hit damage because I desperately need that. I also have a 10.5% critical hit damage mod on it. I will put a 12% as soon as I get the mod for it. What makes this so perfect though for this build is that it goes along very perfectly with Intimidate, because it has perfect adrenaline rush. When you are within 10 meters of an enemy, you gain 23% bonus armor for 5 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. So when you are getting that bonus armor, your Intimidate then procs when you get 35% increase to weapon damage. Sorry, that's incorrect. The total weapon damage is increased by 35%. So those two synergize perfectly together and make you just do unthinkable amounts of damage, as you saw in those intro clips. Next, obviously, I have my Contractor's Gloves. That was part of my DPS build. Only reason I am using these these gloves at all is the damage to armor. It helps with the melting. Obviously, I don't benefit from the LMG damage. I could put Seska gloves on and give me an increase to critical hit chance, but I really don't need critical hit chance. And I do like the increase the damage to armor because it just absolutely melts through heavies. So it really helps. Knee pads, same as the DPS build. Running my Fox's Prayers for the damage to target out of cover, since I'm going to be pushing the enemies a lot in this build, and they're going to pop out of cover a lot. So that increase of damage to target out of cover really helps, as well as the Overlord brand set bonus, because I do use an M1A in this build. So it really does help in that aspect, because if I need to shoot at range, my M1A is still going to do a decent amount of damage. And finally, we have the holster. I'm running Fenris for that plus 10% AR damage. I added one to a roll with 15% weapon damage, 4.2% critical hit chance, and I decided to put max roll 12.0% critical hit damage so that I'm getting the most critical hit damage out of this as I can. I am running the Fixer drone to get my shield back if I needed to, and I am running the Crusader ballistic shield. If you run this with Firewall, which I don't really recommend, I recommend running with Gunner, because the Chameleon just absolutely digs through ammo at a ridiculous rate, so you're going to run out of ammo pretty quick if you don't have Gunner on. But if you do run with Firewall, feel free to use the shield that comes with it, so you can use your Specialist with it, and you're doing a lot more damage with it as well. Now, I'm going to get into the stats really quick. This is where you're going to see this build basically not look good at all, but when the perks are synergized, this then becomes a better DPS build than most raid DPS builds that people put together. So weapon damage is sitting at a comfortable 88,000. That is with the Chameleon. So also just keep in mind, this build really does well in PvP. So this is a good Dark Zone build, this is a good Conflict build. So if you are a PvP player and you are looking for a decent build with the Chameleon, this is definitely a build you want to give a shot. I would just change the Contractor's Gloves then to probably Seska. So that will help in that aspect. So the percentages. Sorry about my dog in the background. He's being a little angry about the mailman. Not even kidding with that. I know it's like stereotypical dog shit, but he is angry at the mailman. So for critical hit chance, I'm sitting at 53.3%. This is where I'm okay with it, why I think I don't really need to go into it more, because when either the top part of a Chameleon procs or my Coyote's Mask procs, I'm at 60%, which is the cap. This is what I mean by this actually doesn't hit that hard, technically, without the synergizing perks. I'm only hitting at 107% critical hit damage. So it's actually pretty low, but as soon as those two perks synergizes, and I'm up and close and personal with Intimidate, I'm doing upwards to about 200%. Which makes this build so deadly, which makes this build so amazing. Only difference I would make then to this build, and the end of it all, not helping, would be more armor. and I would probably swap out some of the weapon damage for max armor. So yeah, I mean, headshot damage is at 50%, which isn't bad as well, but you want to go for critical body shots to increase your weapon damage and then go for the headshots. So yeah, that is the build that I honestly adore with all my heart. This is one of my favorite guns in the game, and I'm glad it finally got some love. So thank you guys for coming out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry about my dog in this one, he's a little... We love him. If you've been to my streams, you know that he barks a lot. Also, just a quick side note, the DPS on this build does about 6.2 million in my testing. I posted a photo last night of 5.5 mil. I actually tweaked it since then, and it is now doing 6.2 million DPS, 700k per shot. So, if I want a high DPS build, this is the build for it. I appreciate everyone for coming out here, and take care.